Hi, everyone. We're ready to get started. So thanks again for joining us for today's webinar on 7 hacks for getting more business reviews. Before we get started, I'll quickly introduce myself and David Quinlan. I'm Satita Yang. I'm the CEO of Fast Market. It's a boutique marketing firm in Denver, Colorado. I have a passion for helping businesses grow with digital marketing. Over a decade of experience with leveraging digital marketing to drive results. As for David Quinlan, he's got a face for the radio, so we thought we'd just add in a nice picture of his baseball cap. He is the VP of Marketing for BBB Northwest Plus Pacific. He oversees brand management, digital marketing, advertising, and communications, and has a decade of experience in broadcast journalism. So for today's agenda, we're going to look at audience segmentation, how to get more reviews, responding to reviews. We'll have a Q&A at the end, and a bonus offer. So whether you're new to the webinars that David and I have ran in the last few years, or this is one of the webinars that you've already joined in on many of ours, you'll know that we typically run our webinars anywhere between 20 to roughly 35 minutes. And in today's webinar, we have a great offer for everybody who's on. So whether you're an accredited business or not, I think it's still worth sticking around until the end so that you can check it out and be a part of it. So before we get started and I dive in, I just want to gauge the audience today and just type in a simple yes or no into the chat box. Is it hard for you today to get business reviews for your business? I'll give you guys about 30 seconds here. All right, so it looks like I'm getting a lot of yeses, which is good. I mean, I'm hoping that with what we present in today's webinar is going to be able to help you guys elevate your reviews and how you look at it from a holistic perspective. So why reviews? I think when we put this webinar together, as a business owner myself, I really thought about what are the top three reasons why I would even want reviews and why any business owner would really care about reviews. I think it narrows down to three specific areas in your business, and that's to gain more sales. It's a marketing avenue, and you can push to get more awareness. And when you think about that, the first thing that comes to mind is the audience segmentation. And so here's what I mean. I always look at the entire buying cycle. And so you could break it down to 4 specific stages. That could be awareness being the first, second is consideration, third is the purchase, and fourth is advocacy. And in this entire buying cycle, there's always places in which you can insert marketing injection communication touch points, which could be email, text, anything that you can think of that can engage with the buyer. The 2 stages that we're going to focus on in this webinar is going to be the purchase, where you can offer upgrades and coupons, and the advocacy, which is where you can really institute a referral program that's mutually beneficial between you and your customers. And then in between that, which is a gap that tends to exist for a lot of business owners, is how do you really nurture and ensure that within every single piece of communication, you're meeting the buyer pre and post-purchase so that they can further advocate on your behalf to get more sales for your business. So purchase, you can offer coupons and upgrades. What does that even mean? So once somebody makes a purchase, whether it's on your website, in store, offer coupons for writing a review and another for sharing. And so typically, some of you are probably thinking, okay, that scares me a little bit because, Satita, I've been told I shouldn't incentivize people to write reviews. They could come across very inauthentic. And in this case, that isn't really the case. It's about getting people at the right time and asking for a simple review just based on their experience. Whether it's a good or bad review, the important thing is that you're getting some sort of feedback that you can leverage to A, make improvements, and B, further promote. And you also want to pay attention to the communication medium, as I mentioned. And so this could say, there's certain customers that you might have that would prefer direct mail, some might prefer email, some might prefer text. So it's important that you meet them where you know that you can communicate directly with them and that there's a way in which you can still engage and interact with them post the sale. And the third point is you want to upsell when you ask for reviews. And so this is a simple place where you can just say, okay, thanks for your review. And since you gave us a review, here's an additional, product or service that's relevant to what you purchased today that you can use in the future. Now for the advocacy stage, this is where you can really build a mutual relationship with your customers. I think the biggest thing to take into consideration here is the fact that you can build it however you'd like. And so you can look at it as ongoing referral tiers where people can get free products and services, or you can just pay out per percentage. And so I think of this as, in the world of affiliate marketing, somebody promotes your product, you pay them out a percentage of that sale. But in this case, you could do something as along the lines of, being a little bit more creative and say, okay, for every 10 people that you refer over to our company, we will give you X, Y, and Z for free in terms of products and services, and you could get an additional discount. And the important thing with this too is anybody who wants to advocate on your behalf, push them to give you written and video testimonials, because these are going to be really powerful ways in which you can push to promote your business as well. So when we think about nurture, I think this could feel like there's just a lot of steps in between. But the most important thing is to just look at it in 5 specific ways, in 5 specific phases. It could be, the first is a content makes a purchase, and the second step is you would then send an automatic email. And so number 2 is really important, because a lot of small business owners, they think about automation, they think about building customized workflows, and it just feels like it's a really tall task. And I think that with tools that are out there available today for you, you have the ability to really set up everything on the front end so that you can automate your business without having to feel like every time you're going to send out an email or a piece of communication, you have to manually do it at that specific time. And so this is going to play in a really good part, because when you set up that automation, it has the ability to run on its own while you continue running other aspects of your business. The third point is, once the automatic email is sent, you can push the customer to engage in some sort of a feedback, to leave a review. And if they do, then you can automatically send them a discount and loop them into your monthly communication so that they can be in the know for any updates that you might have and any additional promotional offers that you have along the way. So getting business reviews, we're going to dive in now. Hack number 1 is to get your raving fans to provide testimonials. I know that this sounds like it's super simple, but it actually takes quite a bit of work, because that initial touch point sometimes doesn't really drive people to take action to review your product or service or how their experience was. And so the biggest thing for this is, aside from giving them coupons and promotional offers, you can also get really creative. But know that once you do get those testimonials and reviews, you should share them on different places, like your website, receipts and invoices, email signatures, videos, and even share them out via social media. You can blog about them and continue to recycle and repurpose them as much as possible. So what I mean by that is, typically what we see is business owners will get reviews and they just sort of leave them as is, and time continues to pass. But if you continue to recycle and repurpose them, you can turn them into different content assets. That could be a simple meme, it could be a GIF, it could be a short 30-second video, 15-second video that you can post on Instagram, well into just a quote or even a full-blown blog post. And so these are all different ways that you can use that to promote your business. Hack number 2 is to create a promotional giveaway or contest. So this is a little bit more creative. You can gamify the review process by rewarding customers who leave the funniest or most helpful reviews to other customers. And you can encourage customers who buy on the spot to leave a review and then get an additional discount if they do share it on social, and have a monthly giveaway for customers who provide reviews by offering them freebies or anything that they can use towards their next purchase. And know that timing is everything. And I'm sure many of you guys already know that, is that it's always starting at the point of sale. So when you understand the entire customer journey, that's when you're going to know where the injection points are for asking for reviews. And you can time it out to say, okay, you start at the point of sale, maybe they don't leave a review, but they're on your newsletter. And so they see your monthly promotional offers. But then once they take a certain amount of actions, you can loop them into specific workflows to say, this group of people, they're really engaged with the content that we send out. And so they have a higher potential of potentially leaving us a review. So let's insert some emails in there where we ask them to leave reviews and continue to see how we can nurture that relationship. Hack number 4 is to just engage and converse. So it's really important that you not only comment and interact with people who leave positive reviews and of course negative reviews, but then you have a way in which you're opening up that communication pathway, because 53% of customers expect businesses to reply to their online reviews within 7 days, and 41% of customers say that brands replying to reviews makes them believe the company really cares about their customers. And so know that from an optic standpoint, this is about building a good reputation for your business and building that awareness and showing people that you're just not about, that initial transaction, but you're really do caring about building a long-term relationship with your customers so that they become repeat customers and they can tell their friends and families about your company to foster sales initiatives for you. Hack number 5 is to make content a priority. So everything that I've talked about to this point really comes down to content. Having the right content at the right time and the right place to incentivize and entice people to take action and engage with your brand pre and post purchase. This is what's so important, is that you're able to look at content as the key driver for engagement and having it be an integral part of the entire customer journey, and then having specific places where you would input call to actions for people to take action on leaving reviews. It could be your blog, creating pop-ups. If people have visited 2+3 pages on your website, having it on your contact page, and you could even dedicate a specific page on your website to just reviews so that people, once they land on your website, they can check out the reviews of what others have already said, and it'll keep them on your website a little bit longer to potentially want to make a purchase or come in store and make a purchase. And the key to making the content come to life is having an actual, whether it's a content calendar or an editorial calendar of some sort that ties it all in together. Next up is to increase social engagement. So for hack number 6, you don't want to just focus on one review site. So instead, you want to have a presence on social media. So knowing where your customers are online is just as important as ensuring you obtain the review itself. And the biggest thing that I always encourage any of the businesses that I work with on a daily basis to do is to have a conversation and be a part of the conversations that are happening that they know their target audience is already doing. And so in order to make that happen, you have to encourage customers to leave reviews, of course, but then on top of that, having important conversations, whether it's just showing the people behind the brand on social media, is going to really help you foster the relationship that you're looking for to get people to come to your business and website, in store, or online. Hack number 7 is to share those positive reviews. So in hack number 1, I talked about how you could repurpose and recycle all the different positive reviews that you have. But I think if you can continue to do that, it's really important that you can just do things like taking it a step further where you can build out specific ads. So maybe you have a great review that you want to share with everybody. You can turn that review into an ad and promote it and target the audience that you know is highly likely going to buy from you. So I'm going to dive in and shift over to David Quinlan and have him talk a little bit about why the reviews on BBB is so different than any of the other review sites that are out there.
Satita, thank you. And thank you for the introduction at the beginning. Face for radio, you got to love it. So I think one of the biggest challenges facing a lot of small businesses is, when they get reviews from consumers, how do customers know those reviews are legit or are they fake? We know that the customer experience matters to Better Business Bureau and it matters to businesses. So BBB Customer Reviews seeks out to really provide a better opportunity and challenge to help businesses capitalize on legitimate reviews so customers can have an easier time finding you and really learning about what the experience is all about. So BBB Customer Reviews allows customers to post positive, negative, or neutral reviews about marketplace experiences with businesses, brands, and charities. And just like our complaint system, reviews are vetted by BBB team members and then sent to the business before they are published online. So consumers, upon request of BBB and businesses, must be able to provide substantiation of a marketplace interaction, a transaction. So to put this into perspective for you, BBB Northwest and Pacific, over the last 3 years, we published around 75,000 total reviews. More than 50% of those are positive. The ones that we did not publish, 51,000 reviews did not meet our standards, and we vetted it, and those reviews ended up being bogus. Most of them were actually positive reviews. It could have been from a business owner or an employee on a company that just kept pouring in positive review after review. So we try to go in there and vet that. So to kind of sum it all up, we want to make sure that our review system at BBB is legitimate. It resolves issues for the business and its customers so that there is a good marketplace transaction. So Tita?
Awesome. Thanks, David. So why don't we dive into the Q&A section before we talk about what the bonus offer is today. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and type them in now and we can get them answered. Any feedback, we also welcome that as well.
And so Tita, I can go ahead and handle the questions and then fire them off based off of what we're seeing in the chat box or in the Q&A section. One of the questions that we have received from one of our listeners here is, you mentioned automated workflows after a positive review happens. Can you kind of unpack that a little bit? What is an automated workflow?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that for any customer who leaves a review for your business, it's important to collect their, you have their information, so their email address specifically, and then you can loop them into their own segmented workflow, meaning that based on their behavior, they're now in a separate workflow to get different types of communication from your company that's relevant to them and that they actually care about, and you're tracking them based on their behavior. So let's say I own like a brick and mortar store and maybe I sell a bunch of t-shirts and shoes and things like that. If I know that a customer really loves t-shirts versus another one who just comes in to buy shoes, this is an opportunity for me to separate them out into two separate workflows so that I can give them promotional offers based on the products that they actually care about purchasing from me. And that in turn, you can also further push that relationship along the way, right? Because if they continue to purchase from you, then the likelihood that they will actually leave a review and also promote your products and services on your behalf is a lot higher.
Awesome, thanks. So Tita, what tools can I use if I want to, jumpstart a positive or customer reviews from my business?
Yeah, so I think some of the tools that you can use, at least from just like the automation aspect of things, could be like MailChimp for the communication. I know that is pretty cost effective for small business owners. You can even use like a HubSpot, there's Ontraport. There's a ton of different automation tools out there that will enable businesses to develop those type of automated workflows so that it's easier for them.
Great. I like this question. How much is too much to bug a customer to leave a review?
I would say 100 times. Kidding. So I think that the biggest thing in that is, you want to really just set it up so you can, if you know how the customer journey really looks and how it plays out, know that all the injection points you're going to put in there to ask for review should be a part of that. So whether it's 3 to 5 times and then you don't get a response at all, I think it's okay to disqualify them for a little while, and you can revisit if they do come back to purchase from you. But if that is like sort of a one-time customer that just no longer purchased from you ever again, and you've already tried reaching out to them anywhere between 3 to 4 or 5 times and you're still not getting anything, it's okay to disqualify them and move on to customers that are have a higher potential of leaving a review for you.
Great. We have a question from John. I'm a service provider, home inspections. How do I get customers to review when I send out my thank you follow-up email?
Yeah, that's a great question, John. So I think if you can provide a strong CTA or a call to action within that email, whether it's in your email signature or at the end of that message, I think that'd be a really great place. And somebody can just click on that and be directed to where they can leave a review for your business.
This is a two-part question from Julie. Are reviews allowed only to be customer initiated? Even if this is the case, can't we provide the mode or means to provide a review, as the BBB site does not seem to make it easy to leave a review?
So that's a good question. I think, David, that might be a question for you to answer in terms of, does it have to only be customer initiated?
Yes. So we are constantly trying to involve the BBB customer review process, and we verify emails, we verify IP addresses. So yes, it's supposed to be intended for the customer, but we understand that there's instances out there where maybe a business is trying to ramp up their own customer reviews, and they're the ones actually leaving the reviews. So that's why our team goes in there and tries to rigorously vet all those reviews to make sure we don't see a pattern and make sure they're coming from different emails. And we try to verify, again, that marketplace transaction.
Great.
One other question that came down here, Satita. Let's see if I can read this right. How can I use customer reviews in my editorial calendar?
Okay, that's a really good point. So when you think of an editorial calendar, it's a place for you to organize and plan everything that you're going to push out, whether it's by quarter or on an annual basis. And so in order for this to happen is, as you plan out all the blog posts you're going to write, or all the email newsletters you're going to push out, or all the direct mailers that you're going to push out, always have a place in where, with each of those collateral, like within those, that you have a place where you're directing people to leave reviews for your business. So I think that's what I mean when I really talk about integrating as your entire sort of editorial calendar, is to ensure that it's always a part and top of mind to ask for reviews.
We have a question from Carla. My thank you postcards finish with, "We love referrals and reviews if you have time." The Yelp, Google, and Facebook logos are pre-printed on my postcards in the lower corner of the postcard. If it's a repeat customer, it says, "We love referrals and reviews and repeat customers like you." So that's a good comment, and I don't know if that's a best practice or not, Satita.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great, because I think it shows authenticity with how you're asking for reviews, and it's not just saying, "Give me a review now." So I love that. I think that's something that some of the people and participants on this webinar can probably leverage moving forward, is how do you really, what is the language, what is the messaging that you need to push out there and that you can test? Because I'm sure, Carla, that probably works fairly well for you. And the other thing that I would also always challenge any business owner or anybody who's pushing to get more reviews is that you test out all the different messaging and all the different calls to action to see which one resonates the most and which one drives the most reviews for your business.
Awesome. Satita, thank you so much. And I want to personally thank everyone on board here that joined us at the webinar today. I realize that there might be some additional questions, so please feel free to email those to us. I'm going to swing it back to Satita about the offer, the bonus offer for all of those of you that stuck around.
Awesome, sounds good. So we're going to offer 50% off advertising for 3 months for new advertisers. And if you're a current advertiser with BBB already, email us to get a free logo placement for 3 months. All you have to do is just email programs@thebbb.org to get started, and just mention that you were on today's webinar, and we'll get you set up. Alrighty, we'll leave the screen up for just a little bit longer, and other than that, like David said, thanks to everybody who joined us on today's webinar. It is being recorded, it has been recorded. We will provide you with an on-demand via email. We'll also provide these slides and SlideShare if this is something that you guys are interested in. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to answer any of them.